Minister of Romy gives updates of the ongoing projects. Member of the Anti-Poverty Platform questions the 76 imposed conditions set by the Dutch. And problem at the border for students attending schools on the Dutch side. Those are the headlines for Thursday, September the 3rd, 2020. Good evening, viewers. This is SXM Daily News. I am Valerie Van Putten. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. And as usual, we have a full newscast for you, so let's get started. In our first story, which comes out of French Saint Martin, residents of French Saint Martin again staged a manifestation at the border on Thursday morning, complaining of the closure and how it is affecting the students who go to school on the Dutch side, who really, through no fault of their own, are being denied entry. One of the reporters speaking to Francois Hunt of 101.5 FM, La Voix Saint-Martin, said that the situation is getting very serious. Meanwhile, councilman of the collectivité and president of the Hope Party, Mr. Jules Charville, speaking at the border, said that what was done to a parent, Miss Paynes, was illegal. It is a shame for the French Republic and it has to stop, and he explained what would be their next step.
Today is when the control is supposed to tighten up because the children them supposed to be coming over to go to school.
Right.
What your take on that?
Well, as I'm seeing here now, Kuchi, is that first of all, there's a lot of them here this morning. They're on the other side also. They're checking the vehicles, and also now I see that they got a spikes on the ground, something they didn't have here in the beginning. So you won't really get hold from them either way. We're seeing now we got another citizen that had an issue with them just this week, and she's back here again. And let's see how this one is gonna play out this time around. However, though, we still need to wait to see what's taking place. A bit overcast, a bit raining today, and we gotta know exactly what's going on. But it's very, very serious, the situation that is taking place here, because these students is not faulted for anything. They need to come to school, and that's something that I think the state should really try to adhere and understand. It's true, we understand everything they're doing, what they're trying to do. However, though, the school needs to know what is taking place here this morning, and this situation could really get out of hand, Kuchi, because for the moment we haven't heard Dutch Saint Martin say anything and do anything, you understand? But if Dutch Saint Martin have to react, then I think French Saint Martin, the whole of Saint Martin, going to really get penalized in this whole thing.
And what they're doing, what they have done, they're mostly taking away Miss Payne's driver's license. That is illegal. What has she done for you to take her license? The most you can say is tell her to go back. All right? And she's French. Her grandchild is French. She's on a French territory. She's not even at the entrance of the French side. She's on the French side. So it's like you're telling me I can't go from Sanagong to Lowland. It's the same thing.
Exactly.
Right here now.
They're not on the border. They're in
Exactly.
the middle of Bellevue.
So, Carl, there's a law. You should know it. A French law that says if a parent or parents do not send their kids, the children that are under 16 years, they can go to jail.
That's right.
Here you have the same people that should enforce that law, preventing those children from accessing schools. It's an aberration, it's a contradiction with the law. So that is illegal, what they're doing. It's a shame for the French Republic.
We also see the doctors come out and write against it also.
Yes. So it has to stop. What I can say to the population, right now there's a legal process since yesterday that has started. Tomorrow morning our VC is going to be here. Just what we witnessed is probably going to happen again. It's going to take note of it. The lawyers are waiting for that to continue their process. It's not going to be a long drawn out thing. It's going to go into what I call a referee. So in a matter of days after that complaint will go in, it will be in front of the judge. So sometime next week we'll have a decision from the administrative court on this illegal process that is going on here. This can go on in no other French territory. What they're doing here is an abuse of power from the prefect.
And in other news for you at this time, on Thursday morning at around 11 a.m., residents were interrupted briefly by a brief tremor. Information reaching the Voice of St. Martin News Department states that the earthquake was felt by many persons in the various districts of the island. This is not clear as to the magnitude of the tremor, as we are still awaiting an official report from the Seismic Center at the University of the West Indies. The affected countries, however, were the British Virgin Islands, Dominica, St. Martin, Guadeloupe, Montserrat, Puerto Rico, St. Kitts and Nevis, the U.S. Virgin Islands, the Caribbean Netherlands, St. Barth, Antigua and Barbuda, and Anguilla. It was 14 kilometers from Puerto Rico. And in more news, the House of Parliament sat in an urgent plenary public session on Wednesday, September 2nd, 2020. The public meeting was held in a virtual setting. The agenda point discussed was the position of the parliaments of Aruba, Curacao, and St. Martin regarding the Caribbean Reform Entity, the CRE. Speaking at the meeting were members of Parliament Rayon Peterson of the PFP, Sarah Westcott-Williams of the UD, Claudius Boncamper of the USP, and Christophe Emmanuel of the NA.
They explained to me that at the moment there is a big confusion regarding this motion that has been circulating, and this motion being related to the letter, which in fact is not true. Actually, the MP that I spoke to was in support of said motion, but was completely against the letter that we are discussing at the moment. So this letter, in fact, did not have the support of the whole Parliament of Curacao. And it goes further than that. They did not even vote on it, as we are doing now. The same PAR MPs who were for the letter were the ones against the motion that we have, in circulation. So again, to my opinion, the people are getting half of the facts, whether it's on purpose or not. The rhetoric being spun that this letter is a joint initiative, to my opinion, is untrue. The Curacao NP confirmed that this was a venture started by St. Martin, which is why the letter was in English and not in Dutch, as per the order usual of the day. The MP also complains that although they did give their comments, that none of their input was taken in the final version of the letter that they saw.
After having a sort of a consensus with Aruba and Curacao on the letter, I too have received conflicting reports as to our feeling on St. Martin that this letter has been unanimously accepted by both Curacao and St. Martin. The point, however, I wish to get to before getting to the letter itself is the matter of the advice from our Council of Advice. Mr. Chairman, in parliamentary circles here on St. Martin, we members of Parliament questioned this advice of the Council of Advice, or rather questioned having received it yes or no. All indications from the government, even after checking back with the government, was that there was no such so-called second advice from our Council of Advice. I had information that there was, which I stated to my colleagues, there were two advices from the Council of Advice of St. Martin.
And while we highlight some of the things that are in the negative format, we don't highlight the things that are in the positive format. Every advice has good things and bad things in it. But I believe that the advice given by the Council of Advice on the 28th of July has strengthened the position of this letter. It is how you want to look at it. Is the glass half full or half empty? I am not going to come in a meeting where country St. Martin is at stake and take up a position of opposition. I cannot do that. I stated before, I am Team St. Martin. I get a very strange feeling when I see how we are looking at this letter now. Mr. Chairman, Article 36 is abundantly clear that it doesn't give us the automatic right to funding. Article 41 doesn't allow our autonomy to be trampled on either, nor is the autonomy a higher order than, for example, the human rights or any other thing. These things are clearly stated in the charter, so they are not the discussion.
Here we have Parliament is asking me to support something that I am against, an entity. But in the meantime, Mr. Chairman, what is coming from the government? What we hear is they are working on something. They are working on something. But in the meantime, Mr. Chairman, in this country, the Red Cross is still giving out old food, outdated products to senior citizens. The Housing Foundation, through the courts, are putting people out on the street. People every day are losing their jobs. No one can find a way to breathe. And what do we hear from government? We are working on something.
And now, here are the highlights of how the voting took place after the members of Parliament made their presentations.
Solange Duncan.
For, Mr. Chairman.
Christophe Emmanuel.
Against.
Melissa Gums.
Against.
Grisha Heiliger Martin.
For.
Omar Otley.
For, Mr. Chairman.
George Pantaflet.
For, Mr. Chairman.
Rayon Peterson.
Against, Mr. Chairman.
Angelique Rameau.
For, Mr. Chairman.
Sarah Westcott Williams.
Against, Mr. Chairman.
Rolanda Bryson.
For.
Hakeem Arundel.
For, Mr. For.
Siddharth Bijlani.
For.
Claudius Boncamper.
For.
William Marlin.
For.
10 votes for, 4 votes against.
And still to come, attorney for the anti-poverty platform says the risk if they go to court is that the judge only deals with the facts. We'll have the details to that story and much more when SXM Daily News returns.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Mega Wadi is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Welcome back, viewers. You're watching SXM Daily News, and I'm Valerie Van Putten. As we continue now with more news, member of the anti-poverty platform, Mrs. Claire Elshot, speaking at their weekly press briefing earlier today, questioned whether the 67 imposed conditions of the Dutch government and if they are violating workers' rights. She also said that one of the conditions for the liquidity support is the Caribbean Reform Entity, and it was met with a lot of arguments, both pro and against. It had to do with the following issues, and she expounded on those issues.
Are the 67 imposed conditions of the Dutch government violating workers' rights, yes or no? In the recent political discussion on the Dutch conditions for liquidity support, One of the conditions, the Caribbean Reform Entity, Caribbean Hervormings Entiteit, met with a lot of discussions. Arguments pro and against had to do with the following issues. One, the entity should be based on Dutch legislations. Two, if the entity should only give account to the Dutch Ministry of Interior Affairs and Kingdom Relations. Number three, if the law to regulate this entity should be a consensus kingdom law, etc., etc. What we observed in all the discussions was apparently all political parties or politicians are in agreement that all 67 Dutch conditions to get money for liquidity support can be implemented to get the money of the Dutch government as a loan. Only the reform entity they want change. Where the United Workers Organizations in the WICLU, supported by the Anti-Poverty Platform, have protested the 18 conditions for the first and second tranche, and where they have demanded to annul the cuts and reverse the decision to cut in workers' rights and their human rights, until today, no parliamentarian or none of the political parties in government and parliament has requested to reverse the conditions and annul the loan conditions. Notwithstanding that these conditions, the Council of Ministers is implementing to comply with the Dutch demands for liquidity support, are violating international treaties, state legislation, and national legislation, which is even not in compliance with the motion on May the 20th adopted in Parliament.
And in other news at this time, attorney for the Anti-Poverty Platform, Mr. Cor Merckx, speaking at the convened press conference on Wednesday, says that if they go to court, the risk if they go to court, however, is that the judge only deals with the facts and not from what is going on. The attorney called the meeting to address the ongoing situation with seniors not getting the correct medication, which is of concern to the Anti-Poverty Platform.
Now we can go to court, but the risk in the court always is that the judge is only dealing with the facts, not is from what he is saying or what is going on. The facts. The facts here are, in this case, are that we have a container with strips in it. And from that container with strips, the provider for the strips is telling, well, it's contaminated because you get with your fingers in it. Before and in the market, you have strips available. I do not name a brand or a supplier, but a lot of strips are sealed in vacuum in a vacuum sealing. So if you take the strip out of that, it will not be infected with nothing. The discussion now is, and that's not clear, that the SZV is telling, okay, we go to the lab, and the lab told us the container with the strips is okay. They give more or less the same result, but they never got a result in writing back from the SZV so that they can compare it. After I sent a letter to the SZV, they came back and they told, okay, we have new strips. They did not tell me they have a new provider because Medio Cosmetic is the biggest provider now at this moment for the healthcare on St. Martin. And we strongly have some concerns that the company SZV is dealing with is not the right company. Not to say it's worth nothing, because our people, our diabetes, suffering day from day and scared day from day if they survive the next day or not.
And in more news for you at this time, Minister of Romy, the Honorable Egbert Doran, speaking at the Council of Ministers weekly press briefing on Wednesday, updated the press about the projects that are ongoing including the water from the Great Salt Pond and the issue with the just completed drainage project at the Billy Folly Road.
Over the weekend, pictures have been circulating on social media regarding water from the Great Salt Pond being pumped into the Great Bay Beach. During the passing of the storm, the level of the Great Salt Pond has risen. The water was pumped into the Great Bay Beach to maintain the water level of the pond. This has always been the case for many years. However, after studying this situation, it has been decided that in the future, the Department of Infrastructure Management will publish a public notice to inform beachgoers of the occurrence in order to avoid any inconveniences. In relation to the Billy Folly drainage project, I've taken note of the complaints from the residents and business owners. For many years previously, a large pool of water would run from the area from the Atrium Hotel, Baker Suites, for days, and it would settle for days. Whenever there was heavy rainfall, the runoff from the hills, this situation has been a major problem for, as I said before, residents, visitors, business owners. As the Ministry of Rummy being responsible for the management and development of the physical infrastructure of the country, the project to remedy this situation has started with the aim to eliminate this major project. A drainage pipe was installed in the front of Atrium Hotel that connects to the existing trench on the corner road. 3 weeks ago, a heavy rainfall preceded our visit to the site, and we had a first-hand opportunity to witness that there wasn't any settling of the rainwater in the area at the time. In the meantime, since I've been informed by business owners and residents that a recent long-lasting heavy rainfall had the pool of water that was there, but nevertheless, the pool of water is expected to come once you get rain. And immediately after, maybe less than 45 minutes, all the water was gone. For me, this is a great improvement because this has been settling for sometimes days in this particular area. So once, in the meantime, 45 minutes maximum, the water is cleared up, this is definitely an improvement and a step in the right direction. There is definitely a gravity situation there that has caused the water to settle for so long.
Now, turning to our weather forecast for September the 3rd, 2020, a broad area of low pressure is located over the eastern tropical Atlantic. Gradual development of this system is possible early next week. Formation chance through 48 hours is low at 20%. Formation chance through 5 days is medium at 40%. A tropical wave located off the coast of West Africa is merging with another disturbance, resulting in an extensive area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Development of this system is likely to be slow during the next couple of days while it moves west-northwestward at about 50 miles per hour. The Meteorological Department of St. Martin will continue to monitor this system and update the public accordingly. See the outlook through Saturday midday: partly cloudy, breezy, and hazy with a few showers possible. Now, let's turn to your 3-day forecast. And still to come, Minister of Education updates the press about the annual Sports and Creative Industries Open House. And I'll have the details to that story and more when SXM Daily News returns.
Make use of WIB mobile banking with easy access and direct usage of face recognition, PIN code, or fingerprint. Download WIB mobile banking app and make your transaction from anywhere at any time. For more information, visit wib-bank.net/quick-login.
Welcome back, viewers. You're watching SXM Daily News. Minister of Education, Culture, Youth and Sport updated the press about the annual Sports and Creative Industries Open House, which will be held in a virtual setting. The minister also brought the press up to speed regarding the current state of affairs as it pertains to education continuity with COVID-19.
and the national sports organizations have come together to organize the annual Sports and Creative Industries Open House. This will be done under the theme For Culture and Sports Matter. This year, considering that we are experiencing a worldwide pandemic, the annual Sports and Creative Industries Open House will be presented as a virtual online event via the Facebook pages of the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth and Sports, the Department of Sports, the Department of Culture, and this will be done on September 14th at 10 a.m. in the morning. The main objective of this year's virtual open house is to stimulate and educate the community on the importance of how sports and culture can potentially play a positive role in their lives. The video presentations that have been created demonstrate, promote, and encourage persons to become active and join an organization that may best fit their interests and their goals in life. So once again, I ask you to take some time out and join us on September 14 online at 10 a.m. via the Facebook pages of the Department of Sports, the Department of Culture, and the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth and Sports for the annual Sports and Creative Industries Open House. The second event, on August 31st, 2020, all school boards and parents of students of St. Martin were informed via a letter from the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth and Sports regarding the current state of affairs as it pertains to education continuity with COVID-19. The most recent statistics as per August 30th were shared along with the way forward. As per September 1st, 2020, the number of active cases on St. Martin stood at 222. According to epidemiological scenarios of the World Health Organization, St. Martin is currently experiencing community transmission. Due to this development, a decision has been made to advise schools to continue with an online learning approach to education continuity until further notice.
And as we end this edition of SXM Daily News for this evening, a second SZV employee has tested positive for COVID-19. The employee was last at the SZV office on August 28, 2020. The Management of Social and Health Insurance's SZV was notified on Wednesday, September the 2nd, and has taken precautionary measures to secure and sanitize the office building. On August 24th, SZV was informed of the first COVID-19 positive employee. Their second positive result is unrelated. Customers are advised to take note of the changes in access to services, as some departments will temporarily be working from home as of Thursday, September the 3rd, 2020. The following are the adjusted SZV services until further notice. At the cashier will be closed until further notice. All payments can be made via online banking. SZV banking information is available on www.szv.sx. Employers must submit their declarations via the employer portal on www.szv.sx. All other inquiries can be emailed to info@szv.sx. Pension drop-off box. All original documents must be dropped off in the box located at Building 1 on the ground floor next to the elevator. Pension statements requests, processing of yearly, monthly pension statements, and bank letter requests are delayed until further notice. All other pension inquiries can be emailed to benefit@szv.sx. And with that, viewers, we've come to the end of this edition of SXM Daily News for this evening. I am Valerie Van Putten, thanking you so much for joining me. And just a reminder that this and other programs are available online. Simply log on to stmartinmediacenter.com for viewing. And on behalf of the SXM Daily News team, we thank you for watching and plan on meeting you right back here again tomorrow.